So continuing my analysis into kind of SPY and the market and what's happening across our different stocks and different options that we've got. Been a really super weird time. Obviously, we bounced off this AVWAP here, which I've been paying really close attention to actually. So this is an AVWAP set at the start of Jan 2024, but the kind of thesis going into this was very much, and I didn't change the thesis, and that was, I think, a big error on my part and something you need to look into, which I think it talks about trading in the zone, being able to let go of your thesis and refresh the thesis with new data when new data is presented. This is obviously, looking at this, I'm like, this is a lower volume move than what we saw here. Much higher volume, good volume here as well across all these, but is that a selling climax, I suppose, for this sort of thing? But I wasn't really sure if it was, to be honest. It's almost just like it just kind of stopped. And I'm quite shocked to see, not shocked on the market should surprise you, but to see it just go through all our major points of resistance. So not really thinking of these two, the 8 and 15 EMA, as major resistance, but you've got the 50 SMA, 100 SMAs here that basically were just crossed. I should have changed my thesis around here once the 100 SMA held, especially into this candle here. So around this time, I think I should have acknowledged that. So that was what, Friday. So once it kind of stays above that, because I also put an anchored VWAP down for the start of. I should have put it down for the start. Well, I think for this move up actually, but I know sometimes you can put an anchor down at the start of the week. So that would be the Monday. We stayed well above that, but it wasn't even hardly worth putting down, was it, to be honest? But so kind of for that, going back to my thinking and analysis, just surprised by this move, to be honest. And even today, just seeing the price action for today. So I've dropped a anchor VWAP at the start of this week just to trace it, but it's just like a boycott of sellers, isn't it? It's just there's just no one home at the moment, and it's really fascinating to see. I've personally not seen it like this. I'm not a veteran trader by any stretch of the imagination, but to be in reach within, the high of the year based off this in such a short period of time on pretty average volume, below average volume, to be honest. But obviously our on-balance volume is heading up, but our vol is just, it's not really there. We've had these divergent, which is obviously bullish sign for this. Is just a 5-minute though, to be honest. And it's just seeing it's just relentless, isn't it? Just relentless divergence, which is good because it's bullish. But adapting, I've just found it quite tough. Keep the position small, kind of get that, but I'm just finding it difficult. Like I know we use the 5-minute in the daily quite a lot of analysis, but I think there's two things I need to do more of. One, wait for pullback. So I'm looking to add that to my criteria to kind of take a trade, basically, which is, if I get to my trade criteria, I've got a simplified version now, but I just need to respect this one here. Like a 30-minute one is what I'm subscribing to, because I do have longer time frames because I don't have the time to monitor these left, right, and center. So this is Berkshire Hathaway. Would have been a good trade, right? You could have joined here, wherever, to be honest. But if you do 30-minute, fair enough. Might not be able to get into the 30-minute on this one. I might have to look to the 15-minute in terms of reset, but but it's still just like getting in and out because I'm just worried about the thesis. So obviously exited it with some profit, but this is where it is today. But I ended up taking Apple, but just didn't wait for the pullback. Didn't wait for that good pullback through. This is the pre-market high that it made it to. And if you wait for a sufficient pullback, so if we think just on the 15-minute kind of thing, if you set that level for 15-minute, but 30-minute you may have done actually, you'd come back in here, and even today we still wouldn't have got it, but we'd be able to join it, I don't know, around here somewhere, so like 3 o'clock potentially. So we got 3 o'clock, so over 3 maps. So instead of entering there, we could have probably waited for that as the pre-market low. We could have entered here, potentially starting the position at, say 225, but instead took the position up at 226.53 and then see it go down and then up. Did add into here potentially, but yeah, I didn't submit the order for it. Basically, wasn't confident. So I'm just struggling to get the confidence back to kind of put it down. I've been shaking out the losses here. Not a good mindset, I realise. Kind of acknowledging that and journaling that, and kind of trying to learn from that to move forwards. But the high of the year, right? Yeah, all-time high is in striking distance. Shouldn't be surprised by it, but just maintaining that very small Apple long position. Not planning on doing much with it. I know the VIX has put a bit of a base in, but this is only on 5 minutes, to be honest. So trying to adjust to the new timings, but just going to acknowledge that these orange lines here are representative of cloud lines. So I think this was a 4-hour. We were through that fine. Bless me. But yeah, the high is in striking distance. We're about $5 away from it. Yeah, about $5 away. So just going to see what happens as we move towards that. But I think I'm just going to move to cash and just once the position again have a tiny one in. Apple anyway, to be honest. So not super fussed. Was thinking about getting rid of it down here, but I'm like, actually, I'll just let it go for a bit longer into the next day, and just see what we get from Apple. So I'm just starting to look at more. I've been placing down more anchored VWAPs across different stock options and created actually a new potential bounce VWAP for those sorts of metrics. But just going through stocks, just looking at if we keep going higher, what kind of stocks do we want to be looking at, basically. So I've got a mixture of bearish stocks and kind of bullish stocks. So this is one that I found to look at, which could be a potential anchored VWAP reversal play, because that's anchored to that low of 2020, which a few I've anchored to. But there's various bits you could anchor it towards. That's quite a high volume one, isn't it, actually? So it might be worth anchoring it there. But yeah, I've anchored this one because from my perspective, I've seen it kind of respected here, smashed through it here, bounced off there, higher high here, kind of got through, and then obviously went back down it again. But yeah, overall, I'm liking this one as a potential play, but I am conscious of what the market's up to. But then also just thinking, more touches you have on these sorts of lines, more the potential is for them to break. So that's obviously pulling off it at the moment. Obviously on a bullish day, it's not done the best, to be honest. So might be a potential setup there for that one. Bump up in volume. So maybe Footlocker might be something to look towards, but just trying to play and look at both sides of it, really trying to cap both options. Because I'm just not confident, to be honest, in my thesis projections. I think of in the past, Harry and Co are saying keep light. I am keeping light, but I'm just keeping it light, but also just keeping it. I think I might just move to cash and just watch this and study this, because I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So I'm still learning. Still day one mindset for me to keep that mindset, but need to keep that perspective moving forward. So